Are you coming towards the end of your 5 years interest-free period on your Help to Buy equity loan and wondering how you're going to pay it back? In this video, we're going to go over some options. Hi there, my name's Lee Everett. I've been in the property industry for 17 years now, and on this channel I'm passionate about helping you buy and sell your first property. So if that's something that interests you, please hit that subscribe button as well as the bell icon so you get a notification every time I post a video. Hi, if you're watching this video, then chances are you have or you're interested in taking out the government's Help to Buy equity loan scheme, and you may be wondering how to pay it back. So if you haven't taken out the loan, you're just sort of thinking about it and doing your research, we'll go over a very, very quick example of what the loan is and how it helps people buy property. So effectively, what the government will do is they will lend you up to 20% of the value of a new build property. So if we keep the figures very, very simple, if you want to buy a new build property for £200,000, the government will lend you 20% of that, which is £40,000, and that becomes your equity loan. You still have to put 5% of your own money into the deal to make up your equity, but the government will lend you that 20%, that £40,000 in this example. So for the first 5 years, that equity loan is completely free. You haven't got to pay anything back at all. It's after the 5th year where things start to change slightly. So on the 6th year, you'll have to start paying back the interest, not the actual loan, just the interest, which the first year will be 1.75% of the loan. The year after that, it will go up by 1% plus the RPI, the retail price index. So the loan is going to get more and more expensive the longer you have it. So the simplest way to be able to pay off this large sum of money is to pay it off in one big chunk if you can. But that's going to be very, very hard. Most people would look to possibly remortgage your property as you're coming up to the 5 years to take any equity you do have in the property and pay off the loan. But when you buy a new build property, you're already buying at the top end of the market. So it does take new builds a little bit longer than a second time home to actually start making money for you. However, after 5 years, you should notice maybe some form of increase in price. But what you have to remember is that this loan from the government isn't a fixed amount. If your property price goes up, then so does the loan amount. So you may have borrowed £40,000 at the start of the transaction 5 years ago, but if your property price has gone up, then so does the loan amount as well. I need to get an office. Get out of here. If you are lucky enough that your property has gone up in value quite a lot, what you might be able to do is remortgage and pay off a chunk of what you owe. This is called staircasing. So if you're able to remortgage and pull out some of that equity to pay off a chunk of the loan, then fantastic. That will be the way to go in the short term. But obviously, if you are remortgaging, it's all very well saying, oh yes, I'll just pull out the equity. But when you do get that remortgage, you'll be borrowing more money, not from the government, you'll be borrowing it from the bank. So you need to make sure your affordability checks out as well. So before you start even thinking about taking out the loan, it's all about that affordability checks and the affordability calculations you do in your head prior to taking this out to make sure you can afford to pay either the interest back or the extra remortgage payments when you come to remortgage after 5 years. The second option, which I quite like actually, I've not used the scheme myself personally, so I don't know how it would work out for everyone in particular, but if you have a mortgage which allows you to overpay your mortgage, you might be able to pay an extra £100, £200 off your mortgage each month. Some lenders will allow you to pay up to a certain amount a year off your mortgage as extra without any penalty. But if you can do that, that will eventually, after 5 years, bring down the amount of money you actually owe to your lender, and you then might be able to remortgage the extra money you've paid off to give back to the government. That's another option, but again, I'm not a mortgage advisor, so please speak to a broker to see if that's something you can do with your current mortgage provider. And the third option, I'm not sure if it's any good because savings interest rates are so low at the moment, but what you could do is theoretically, because your mortgage is cheaper, because you're only borrowing 75% of the property rather than 95%, you could use the money that you've saved each month on the mortgage, put that aside if it's viable for you into a savings account and have that ticking over, but having the discipline to put £200-300 away each month into that account, so when the 5 years does come up, you have a large chunk of money to pay off the mortgage. And for me personally, that I'm not a fantastic saver, so if something went wrong with the car or the property, I'll probably end up dipping into that to do it rather than put it on a credit card or something like that. So if you are a disciplined person and you are a bit savvy in terms of where your money can make you extra money, maybe in a fixed term ISA or a bond that pays back a certain amount of interest after a year or two, or even 5 years, that may be the thing for you to do. But again, interest rates for savers aren't fantastic at the moment, so this may not be something you can look at. I hope this video has helped in some way. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, so before you do anything with your mortgage, please speak to a qualified mortgage broker. Make sure they're fully independent as well. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with somebody you think it may help. Any questions you've got, pop it in the comment section below. Thank you so much again for watching. We're nearly at 300 subscribers, so if we can get there with this video, that'd be fantastic. Thank you, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.